Chris, the other
Ronan,
thing
I just had to tell you that Jack Kennedy, one of our heroes, I think yours as well, once said, those who ride the tiger end up in its mouth. And these so-called moderate Republicans have been playing to that right wing, and their rhetoric especially, kill Obamacare,
right.
You know, anti-immigrant, all that stuff sells. And unfortunately, they thought that they could ride that tiger. Well, the tiger last night ate one of them. And that's just a fact. You can't keep playing and taunting and encouraging and igniting and all that stuff and then think they're not going to come for you when you begin to look like the establishment. And that's what the Republican Party leadership looks like. It looks like part of Washington, just like the Democrats are Washington. And to a right-winger in this country, or to a lot of unhappy people, independents, that's a bad thing to be.
Here's the other thing that looks non-establishment in these guys' rhetoric. They are so hyper-intellectual. I mean, they are both college professors. Actually, magazine put up their Rate My Professor scores. Trammell did better, it turns out. And Bratt said he wanted to return to, quote, political philosophers that he viewed as kind of the political origins in our country. Is it rare to see that kind of brazen intellectualism, particularly in populist candidates like this? What do you think, Chris?
Well, first of all, I don't think you can assume that the liberals are smarter than the conservative professors. I think that's crazy to talk like that. And it's exactly the attitude that the conservatives can't stand. I don't know which professor is more popular, but that doesn't mean it's a better professor, first of all. Secondly, I think that I was listening to Bratt last night. I listened to him today. I think he's very sophisticated for a politician. He's certainly up to the ranks of most politicians I've ever dealt with. He speaks in a speculative manner, in an intellectual manner. He can handle any debate on this program or my program. So this looking down our noses at Tea Party people has got to stop. They have a message. They're as American as any liberal is, and they're really angry about the failure of the system. I was over covering Eastern Europe when the wall came down, and what people didn't like, it wasn't the philosophy of communism they didn't like. It was the complete corruption of it, the failure of it to deliver to working people. And that's what this system is doing right now. We can't control the deficit. We can't control the debt. We can't control the border. What good is government good at? And that's the question that's happened on every issue we've covered on our show.
And by the way, very quickly, Ronan, on immigration, I don't think it's ever going to get done, immigration reform, until there's a perception that the middle-class economy is growing. When the economy when people have anxiety about their own personal future, well, the last thing they want is more competition for a smaller number of jobs. And we're going to talk more about the immigration piece of this. Chris Van Hollen is on the show later. Both of you were incredible on this. By the way, Chris, I agree with your points. I think there's far too much looking down the noses at candidates of this type, and clearly this is a guy who's very sophisticated, and the way he talks, actually, to me, is refreshing. We'll see if it connects with voters as he goes into the general. Appreciate it.